ready to go, Sean? Or
You're
I
the
was
host.
watching it go to recording, and I was trying to see, if it was going to be good or not. All right, so I'm Sean. I'm here with Luke, real Jesse, Steve, fake Jesse, Tyson, and our lovely, beautiful editor, Colin. Producer, editor, I don't know, whatever he is. This is going to be the Campfire Passport Podcast number 2. Today we're going to talk about our Alvord Desert trip, which is my birthday trip, and everybody is so gracious to come along on an amazing adventure that Colin makes for us. He plans an amazing route usually. We'll get into that. This year the route was way different. It was really cool. We took this completely different way, which we'll kind of dig into a little bit as well. We made it, which was surprising, especially from the middle. And yeah, I think that we can all kind of dig into how we all had fun and didn't have fun on the trip. The first thing that I was going to bring up is that there was a lot of mud, which was super surprising to everybody, I think. Afterwards, we pretty much all realized that there is no reason that it should have been surprising because we were at high elevation with a bunch of snow melt and rising temperatures. And it wasn't really cold and it wasn't really hot, but it was just enough that every single thing on the ground was saturated, which was terrible. If Mike Palmer was here, we would tag him in as number one contributor to the mud story, but since the number one stuck guy isn't here, we'll go to number 2 stuck guy, which is going to
If you say it's
real
me.
Jesse. Yeah, it's going to be real Jesse. And it's mainly because Jesse didn't only get stuck, he got stuck at the first night's campground on his own.
It wasn't
So
level.
far out of the track that no one could even get him out. It was just him, stuck, broken max track, very angry. Very angry. Instead of grumpy Jesse this time, it was angry Jesse.
It was angry Jesse.
Yeah, why don't you run us through that? How'd that happen?
So we can start back at the very beginning, where we had Mike had been stuck a couple times. Tyson got stuck a couple times. By Tyson got stuck a couple times, I mean Tyson is a couple, Mike about 5 to 7. And we were finally at the spot where we were thinking we were going to camp, and I am last in line. And we Mike gets stuck up there. Then I go to pull out Tyson from getting stuck in Mike Hole. And Tyson makes it up. Then I finally make it up to the top. Everybody's almost already set up. Mike's set up. Steve's set up. Steve's cooking. Lucas set up. So I finally get parked at direction of Anna. Says, all right, go park there. We want to be away so we don't bug anybody with Emmy's voice or Emmy crying at night or whatever. So I kind of get parked, realize the wind is blowing in the wrong direction and the ground's kind of saturated. I want to turn around and kind of situate myself a little more, get about 25 feet into it and sink. Just down to the ground, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back for the day. And that's when I go from grumpy to just straight up angry. Oh wait, hey, it's been 3 minutes. I can say now I'm fucking pissed off. And everybody has the wherewithal to say, you know what, I'm not going to go near Jesse. I understand that. Probably should just leave him alone, let him get out of this hole that he's dug. And
4 holes.
My truck goes from manageable dirty to now just covered. It is horrible. So now trying to set up camp in the mud on my truck with an angry child who wants food that I can't cook for right now because my truck is in disarray and I can't get anything out. So yeah, getting stuck. That was completely terrible. Ruined my first night, and I kept my grumpy ass away from the campfire and went to bed early.
I would like to defend me getting stuck
several times. The first time, yeah, absolutely. I was a little too close to the edge of a hill that got a little hairy. Thank you to Sean for pulling me away from that edge, pulling me off the edge. But subsequently,
Man, that
the holes.
was scary.
I'll tell you, the wife was scared more than I was. We were pointed in the right direction, which was good. But yeah, it could have gone sideways pretty quick, literally and figuratively.
It went a little bit sideways, and that's the one situation that I feel like is the sketchiest. As soon as you're on a hill and you start getting slippy, whether it's snow or mud, we never do mud, but this time it was mud, that's the time that sketches me out. I don't have any problem with rock stuff or, whatever other thing that we've done or that we do when we're just doing normal wheeling, but that moment was like, oh my god, I have to get as close to the ditch as I can because I don't want Tyson to pull me off of the cliff.
Yeah, that was easily going to be worst case scenario. And maybe it's blissful ignorance on my part, but so glad that it was uneventful. But every other time I got stuck was because glorious Mike and his 10,000-pound motorhome dug some nice big holes for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mike got big hole.
Absolutely hate this.
Oh yeah, we could just preface this with Mike's hole is horrible, and we're going to talk about it a lot.
Mike's dirty deep holes.
Oh man, well it's okay, Mike. We all still love you, even though you have a big dirty deep hole.
Well, in Jesse and Tyson's defense, both of them had to pull me out.
I did watch you get stuck on flat ground. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be again, and it's coming to mind now, in that all of those areas where we pulled off the trail to find some level ground, all of that had snow on top of it within days before we had been on top of it. So all of it looked dry was only looked dry, and right underneath the surface was 6 inches of mud.
Yeah, it was the most saturated ground I think that I've ever driven on.
Yeah.
Especially that spot where you got stuck in the flat, where everybody pulled off after I got stuck, which was the first time I've ever been stuck in mud. Again, not that we do it all the time, so not that I have a lot of opportunity to get stuck in mud, but since I decided to be an idiot and make a different trail, I got very, very stuck. And luckily, we had Mike's behemoth of a motorhome there for me to winch off of, because that was pretty much the way out.
Mm-hmm.
So the one time it came in
the
handy.
Blessing
yeah.
And a curse.
Also, shout out to Mike on this again, because he's the one that told me, hey, Sean, you should buy these silly rubber boots because they're on sale. And I said, no way. And then I got stuck in 2 feet of mud.
Yeah, how many of us bought those rubber
And you
boots?
didn't have your silly rubber boots?
No. I would have given much more than the $20 sale boot price to have them in that moment.
I did go to a certain farm supply store that he mentioned over the weekend, and they're still on sale. I thought about picking up a pair.
Well, they're always on sale because the aforementioned farm store we have that account for, that you can use said account to buy and purchase at a discounted
It's
rate.
a discount from the on sale price.
Yes.
Do they actually discount sale prices?
No, not sale prices. Just
you got me excited for a second.
They don't pay me. I just say shit.
Hey, I haven't said their name yet.
Not a sponsor.
Right.
Yeah. So Colin's rig did exceptionally well in the mud. He broke trail the whole time, which I think in mud terms means he hadn't broken through most of the way. But I did see it struggle a little bit, and it made it out. In fact, it made it out of the holes that I made from getting super stuck. So that was kind of a nice little takeaway for him.
Had he not his bump stops, Still did pretty well for limited travel.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was impressive. It also was a lot cleaner than a lot of the rigs, and I don't know if it's just because the tires are under the fenders or what, or it's just the color. I'm not sure.
That might be a color thing, because that thing was pretty dirty. It was no Robert Foster JK clean.
Oh man!
But it was
we talk about, we just bring up Rookie of the Year now.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the other thing that happened that was awesome is that Luke showed up. So now we can talk about Luke and how he did, which was fine because he has a Gladiator with big tires and all the cool Overlandy bits.
Well, I mean, it has a 1-inch lift in 37, so it's not like a bunch of weird. It's the diesel and being able to keep it in second gear. It's really hard to get tires spinning fast, so it doesn't really get stuck.
37.
But yeah, it was almost impossible to keep my mouth shut last time we were on this little thing, because I was really here to like gather some intel
and talk about your Datsun.
Tell you any. Yeah, and talk about my Datsun. And not really give away any hints. So you guys are like, what'd you do to your cars? And I'm like, nothing.
Yeah, it worked out great. How long of a drive is that, Luke? Like 15, 16 hours?
I think it's like 15, 16 hours, yeah. I went from here to Winnemucca, and I probably could have gone all the way to Fields the first night, because I left here at like 6 a.m. So I still had daylight for like a while in Winnemucca when I got there. And I texted Colin and was like, all right, well, I'm in Winnemucca, like just sit in a hotel, because I didn't really feel like camping in that area because it's all gold mines and shit and not a lot of public land in that area. So yeah, just kind of hung out there and waited for him to like finalize like timeline details and stuff. Colin and I had been texting back and forth about this for like the last, I don't know, month and a half, and just thought it would be fun to surprise everybody. And I know Colin likes to build surprises into those trips, and I thought it would be fun to jump in on that with him. So.
Well, I will say that was a goddamn good surprise.
Yes, indeed.
I think it went away as a huge success. I think I was very, very excited the whole time. I wish Eileen could have come with us, but otherwise, I'm very, very happy about how everything went. So,
yeah. And how that was your first time with your new diesel heater, and then second time in your GFC. I mean, unbranded.
Third time camping the GFC. First time with the diesel heater. That's actually the first time it even started the diesel heater. I barely took it out of the box before I left. Diesel heater's awesome. Love that. And I wish Jesse could say the same, but I can see his face right now.
Yeah, Jesse, how's yours?
And the GFC, the setup takes 10 seconds to have a working operating tent setup, and it's I'm very, very happy with it. So
that's good.
Otherwise, I was gonna say, otherwise I did some little things the week before we left to get a little better organized with a different cooking setup and being able to hang stuff off of the internal bars on the GFC, so I can get stuff up out of the way that's easy to access. Don't have to dig through the drawers or whatever to get to it. So that's kind of prep work we did, and it all worked out really well.
Nice. I thought I wanted a diesel heater real bad once I saw yours. I was very excited because I was so cold. And then Jesse's seemed to have failed miserably, which didn't really turn me. But once I got home, I realized I use my heater twice a year. Mm-hmm. And so while I was going to check out with the diesel heater in my cart, I thought, maybe this is not the smartest use of this money. Maybe I should wait for a second, because one cold time does not mean that I need it. I think it'd be awesome, but...
Well, and that's where we're camping, even in July, if you're camping at 10, 11,000 feet in the mountains up here, it can be 80, 85 in the day, and below freezing at night is not really out of the realm of possibility for us. So I think we'll get a lot of use out of it.
Yeah, for sure. Since I assume that at some point, someday, someone who is not in our entire group of friends or immediate group of friends listens to this, we should clarify that Luke lives in Denver.
Oh,
the
yeah,
rest
by
of
the
us
way.
live in Oregon. which he doesn't just
Minor
live in
details.
some magical place that's only over 10,000 feet. He just lives in
Yeah.
Denver.
He has a really
This is
big
So Jesse,
house.
what happened with that heater?
I would like to defend my diesel heater a little bit because I know Mike is going to come back in here and say drunkenly, "I told you to clean it. I told you to clean it. I told you to clean it. I told you to clean it." He did tell me to clean it.
All right, moving on.
But I did a little more. I did a little more digging, and what happens in those? If you run those things on low all the time, like you would in a tent, they do get a lot of buildup, and you do need to service them at least once a year, especially if you're going to run it on low for 2 to 3 camp trips. I stand by it. The diesel heater, the dry heat is super sweet. So it wouldn't have been a waste of money.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a game changer in general. Like, overall, it seems great. I think, like, this trip specifically, the thing that got me was that I had decided, oh yeah, first night, I'm getting a diesel heater, this is happening. Luke's setup is perfect. I'll just get a smaller one. I'm thinking about it all night as I'm, like, really comfy with my 3 blankets and my little propane heater. And then I wake up in the morning, and I'm really comfortable. And there's no heat on, and everything is perfect. And then the next night, I did not use the heater, and I used my 3 blankets, and everything was perfect. And I went, I'm still going to buy one of these. And then, like I said, I came home, and I was, no, this is stupid.
Well, and part of it too, like if it's Eileen and if it's unless it's like below 30, we really don't use we didn't use the propane heater either. Like, we're fine. But with me by myself, and the nature of that GFC is there's a lot of airflow underneath the sleeping pad, even with the tent sides or with the with the canopy sides down and everything. There's still a lot of airflow there that's naturally cold because it's in a metal box. It's just a different environment. But then also the other thing was when I went to sleep, I turned it off. I would have woke up melting had I left it on all night. It wasn't really an option.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It's pretty warm. I was surprised at how warm it got. It warmed my hands up super quick, which was really nice. And I mean, we do that a lot of times too, where we preheat the tent and then turn it off, and that's fine. And that's what we did that first night, anyways. But with all that space, I always think, man, in like a GFC or a sportsmobile or something where you've got a ton of space, I always think it'd be really nice, or like Mike's camper, for example, to have a thermostat and have it turn on and off. But it turns out, for whatever reason, with Mike's setup, and if he was here, he could probably help explain it more, but it seemed like that didn't work well. Like, it didn't really regulate properly.
Since I have the diesel heater that was in Mike's camper, I can tell you that it doesn't regulate very well. It's on or off.
That's a weird thing.
I think mine has a thermostat, but the little thing isn't remote. I just have mine comes with like a little key fob, and it's basically just on or off. Yeah. It has like high and low settings if you like dig into the little control panel, but I was like, whatever. All I'm doing is preheating the tent, so on off works fine for me.
Yeah. Is it decipherable? Because I know that the one that Jesse has now, I remember looking at the control panel the first time Mike turned it on, and I was helping him cycle it, and he's like, is it on? And I said, I have no idea. I can't tell. There's green on one side. I'm not sure.
That's about where I'm at. I turned it on. There was some like indecipherable language on the display panel, but it started making noise like it was starting, and I was like, well. And then it started blowing out hot air, and I was like, okay, this is good.
Praise the machine
Is
god.
this a reason to learn Chinese?
Yeah, I think Chinese is also pretty hard to display in like one of those like a scoreboard
It's like
style
the
lettering where
Predator's
it's
wristband. It looks like that. Except
Yeah,
you're trying
I
to
don't know
program a
what that is, but
diesel
okay.
heater. Is it going to blow up or is it going to get hot?
It's counting.
One way it's going to get warm.
No, it's counting down.
So I will say, yes, the displays are freaking horrible, and it's so hard to just it's not intuitive. You have to do a little research, but fortunately, there is a massive group of people on YouTube that have messed with these things, and they figure out all the different settings. So you can figure out. You just got to probably spend about 3 hours watching videos on YouTube of Aussies and Americans living in vans.
I didn't do that.
Yeah,
I took it out of the box and turned it
Yeah,
on.
you did the man thing. Like, "Bah,
completely with Luke on that.
I buy thing, I make go, right?
I don't have any
that
problem
was something I
researching it, but
noticed.
I can't watch videos to do that.
No, it's horrible.
I noticed when I was doing the editing for Lauren's diesel heater install, when he goes and like gives the rundown on how to use the control panel that it came on, like instantly he's pushing the button and the numbers are going down, but the temperature is going up according to what he was doing. Like he was turning it up and the numbers cycled downward. And in my head I'm just this makes no sense. This is reverse. I don't know why it would go down and that would make the heat turn up. I would get so confused.
So it's like the
doing that
guy
the
who
middle
was
of the
in
night trying to
charge
turn
of the
something on or
controls
off.
in Independence Day on the alien ship.
Yes.
Steve.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know
The
it's a
reverse.
reach. I know it's a reach, but yeah.
That
Forward is reverse.
It's quite a journey to get to that reference, but I like it.
Well, that just means
if
we've had
you-
two.
If you guys don't watch it annually, I know we generally have a 4th of July trip, and the premise of this podcast being kind of outdoors camping and stuff. Our 4th of July trip doesn't always incorporate Independence Day, but it is a national treasure.
It should.
It probably should. I
One
mean,
of us is bringing a
Yeah, maybe
projector
we need
this
to
year.
Get Mike to bring the projector and put a sheet on the side of his RV so we can watch
On his
it.
motorhome?
do it, Mike.
Like those 625 classic games
Oh yeah.
device that I from my auxiliary port on my truck. So now I just need to find a mobile screen, or I'm hoping I can tap into the VGA port on my Tacoma screen and possibly be able to do like an anytime reverse button that just would bypass it and go to the little, basically to play Mario or Con.
Well, Sean's a
Really
former
gets to play
expert in in-car audio and visual.
I don't know of anything like that for the Tacoma. Although, what year is yours? Is it like an 18?
Yeah, well, Jesse, didn't your anytime front camera that you tried to do, isn't that just a VGA port?
Yeah,
RPA.
so it's a incorporation of a couple different relays and a switch with a VGA output and
Yeah.
or our
The
input.
screens will do VGA, but they won't carry the sound. So at some point, I'd have to send the sound to a different one.
Hmm.
And don't those VGA ports? They're 3, so 2 are for sound and 1 is for video. Correct?
Correct.
Because that's the stereo sound plus the video.
Okay, so it's just the video of the VGA, and then you can play your sound through your screen.
Just,
Yeah.
I
just
never
the
thought about
V.
that, but that's a great idea. Getting rid of my front camera, going to a Game Boy.
Yep.
Well, I don't know about you, Jesse, but I have a front camera, and I thought it was going to be the coolest thing in the world, and all it's good for is parallel parking. But it is great at parallel parking, but it's stupid off-road, because I can't decipher any sort of anything. It's just, I know it's there, I know there are rocks, and I think that I might hit them in the right spot, but I can get that information much clearer by looking straight ahead, as opposed to pointing my head at my screen.
Yeah. Or rolling down your window and looking down yourself.
Mine I can see the front tow hooks in the peripheral of the camera.
That's
so
nice.
I have reference points.
I had mine set
It's
pretty dang
pretty
good
great.
to where both of the buttons on the left and right of my screen are actually my tires. But the problem is that I made the mistake of paying somebody to change my oil, and they took that skid plate off to get to my oil, and they ripped the wires that
Everything off.
that flipped the screen. So now everything's backwards and upside down on my front camera.
Inverted.
Yes.
So usually those
I was
just have a little
inverted.
loop.
Yeah, it's just a loop.
You
They
might-
ripped them off when they pull
Oh, like all the way off the camera.
off the way off the camera. So I have to buy a new camera.
Oh.
It used to work, but now it's just
Yeah.
like I don't know. It's low priority.
You
Totally
got a
pulled down
lube
here.
tech, not
Yeah,
an
that makes sense.
audio visual tech there.
Dude,
What is this access hatch on this skid plate for?
I mean,
Man,
Can't use
this
the
skid
oil
plate
filter.
won't come off. Better pull harder.
yeah, I
You
paid
mean the skid
I
plate
paid
that
somebody $60 to ruin my front camera and cross-thread a bolt on my skid plates. Because I have two skid
Oh,
plates.
that's awesome.
So I
At
will
least it
say
wasn't
this
an
name.
Oil drain plug.
I will never, ever go to Valvoline again.
Yeah, you
I
hear
just
that,
won't pay any-
Valvoline?
Every Valvoline in the entire
Oh,
country.
there goes
is
the
terrible.
potential
Yeah.
sponsor.
Which
One
brings
guy
us
did
to our
it.
I don't
next
want Valvoline as a
advertisement.
sponsor ever.
Have you
First
tried
pay ad, it
Valvoline?
is.
High mileage oil.
Let the record show that Valvoline.
Does not condone this message. Yeah. Fuck them. God damn it. I'm still fucking bitter about it.
Point is, they changed the oil.
Yeah.
That's true. And they didn't strip your drain plug.
Yeah, everything
No,
else
but they just-
questionable.
At least
Not even
Yeah,
questionable.
you paid them to do something. You didn't pay them not to do something.
that's right, Luke. He got what he paid for. The extra stuff was
And
extra.
more.
I don't know why you guys are taking their sides. This is hurting my feelings.
That's nice.
Uh,
You can cut
so
bet it in
we talked about all
now.
we talked about all the mud, which was the biggest awful thing that happened. And then again, I got to say it was a cool trail, so we shouldn't. I'm not going to dog on it too bad. But the mud was like the worst part about it. Obviously, I was trying to think of as I was sitting up preparing for this today. I was trying to think of the other things that happened. Like what else was there?
To be honest,
The big one that I could, yeah,
I've never
the biggest one
happier
that
to get out to the Alvord. Like thinking about
Yeah.
it today, that drive across the Alvord never felt better. Plus,
No, that was the best.
timing was immaculate. But I pulled in there going, "We fucking made it," and it was
Yeah.
an overwhelming feeling of I literally never got out there and went, this is it. This is amazing. We're here. We fucking
Yeah.
did it.
it was definitely accomplishment. The thing I was going to go to though is the only other thing that I could remember was right before we made it gloriously to the Alvord Desert Playa. Tyson had some drama. When did that start? When did you start having an issue?
You know, I don't remember exactly when it happened, but I noticed that my battery light, just its cute little red outline of a battery that never ever shows up unless, you know, just ignition's on, engine's off, happened to light up. Again, just noticed it out of nowhere, and everything was running fine. I have an app for my auxiliary battery that tells me what the active voltage that it's charging at is. So I'm looking at that app, and it's reading 13.17, just over 13 volts. Everything seemed fine. Kept driving, and maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours of that, car started to misfire. At that point, got on the radio and said, "We're having a problem. We're going to ride it as far as we can go." Shortly after, it misfired to the point where I was losing significant power, and just pulled over and grabbed my voltmeter. If you don't have one of those in your kit, have one of those in your kit, and confirm alternator's not charging anything. So our good buddy Jesse just happened to pack an extra battery. No one knows why. And it was the exact size that my Nissan Xterra takes. Group size 24. Threw that in, got us to the playa. Everything seemed to work out okay. Turned out just alternator had some shit in it. Cleared the shit out of it somewhere, going 80 on the playa, and everything's fine.
I know why I had the battery. It's because Raw Dog wanted you to have it for Terry Cruise.
God.
Raw Dog's a smart man.
Yeah, vibrations can knock plates loose, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened.
Yeah,
it was
some fluke.
Like, we were so close, everything was so cool, and then all of a sudden Tyson was like, I'm gonna pull over, I have a problem. Just like, oh no.
I try to take pride in the
it worked out.
Only vehicle with, aside from getting stuck, being probably the most stock, most reliable, right? Most stock, most reliable. But yeah, this time, surprise, had a battery just take a dump. So that was a little bit of a bummer. But again, our hero, Jesse, with his magic battery that fits, he decided to bring. Awesome.
My battery's not working so hot. I'm going to bring another one. Never have to use it. And here we go.
Yeah, that's 100% success rate.
Yeah, I mean, that was great. Was there anything else that happened? Colin, did you have anything from up front? Oh, we had the tree. There was a tree in the middle of the road, so Colin got to use his new winch because it's on the new vehicle that he bought. But then it didn't work.
we pulled
The
down.
tree thing-
We pulled down the anchor tree with
Yeah,
the tree.
it was
down.
so strong.
But the tree thing, I think, while we were doing it, was like, oh, this is kind of fun. We're doing a thing. And then I realized a little bit later that we spent like probably a good hour to 90 minutes doing that. And all of a sudden we're all like noticing that like, oh, it's like 5 o'clock and we're still not on the main road yet. Like that really contributed to, I think, a lot. Like it definitely contributed to my like anxiety.
Oh yeah, there was definitely some fatigue there. And that was, got to remember too, like, we got a mile up the road maybe or whatever, and that's where that turn happened that we couldn't pass, and I got stuck, and then we spent another hour or half an hour at least messing around with that, and then backing the entire way down, which was terrible.
Man, I was one back and forth trip from the garage to the truck of not bringing the chainsaw, because I was like, oh, Jesse will have a chainsaw. He always brings a chainsaw.
Yep.
Nope. I brought the Sawzall with the arbor blade
On the way back.
It worked once we finally decided to pull it out.
Yeah.
That was the thing. We decided that we were going to make this elaborate snatch scenario to pull this tree out of the road, and then a half an hour later we were like, you know what, we should just cut this thing.
I don't think that was a we. I think that was a Mike. Once again,
Oh.
that came in because he was, we'll just get a snatch and we'll put it over here on this and we'll pull it backwards because we don't want to pull it against the limbs, and gave all of these reasonings, and everybody was just like, okay.
I'll admit, I was
And that's
Mike
what
excited.
he
clearly
did.
knows what he's doing
I was
here.
really excited to see that tree come out of the road just perfectly towards the anchor tree. It was going to be beautiful.
Yeah. It was going to be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All
it
sound
didn't work.
logic, but anchor tree just didn't work.
Yeah, the anchor tree was the real disappointment of the trip.
It was dead standing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's surprising. For a second I thought it was going down. There was a moment where I was like, nope, that thing's not going to live through this at all. I think it's already dead. So
Yeah.
We also know the
I'm not going
soil
to
that
say
it was.
that it's still living.
At least we didn't kill another tree.
The same soil that we were driving on top of was the same soil that tree was sitting in. So
Yeah.
therefore,
Yeah,
it's a thick stew, a porridge at most.
at most, yeah. That was the other thing I wanted to talk about. I was trying to remember if we went over the actual location last time. Like, we kind of touched on it, we said it, but I don't know if we actually talked about what we did, where we went, why we went there. So I don't want to rant too much or rave too much, but the trip is that yearly trip that we do. It's always our season opener. It's always a little shaky with weather. Sometimes it's awesome, sometimes it's terrible. And we take this trip to the Alvord Desert, specifically in southeastern Oregon, every year at the same time, which is my birthday. And it's just the coolest place in the world. There's nobody out there. It's the best place. And really, the Alvord Desert is a giant dry lake bed, playa. And it's usually, by that time, dried up. And it was this time, too. It was actually really, really nice on the playa itself until Sunday morning. But what Colin does for us every year that's really cool, I think, is he takes us on a different route. And last year was a huge year. We did Black Rock Desert, which is like an extension of the same area that's in... Is that actually Nevada right there?
Yeah.
It is. It's
Nevada.
northern Nevada. And so...
Or
it's,
Nevada.
and that's like a huge area... Nevada, sorry. That's a huge area that's really cool. Colin, do you mind running through your logic of how you got us there this year to make it kind of special but not as big as last time?
I really, it started with I've seen a couple of roads and past trips that we drive past, and curiosity got the best of me, and I started searching to see if any of those roads went anywhere that looked interesting, basically. And I found a couple that did go through, and looked like it would kind of come through some kind of cool land areas, basically, and just tried to link things together so that we could come in from a different direction. Because I mean, we've gotten to the Alvord, the bog standard way. We've come in from Heart Mountain. We've come in from Rome. It's just something that I wanted to try, a new direction entirely, basically. And so that's why we came in from that side, went and saw the Pete French Round Barn, which is kind of cool. I didn't even know it was there until like the very end stages of planning the route. It was like here's the paved road to get to the gravel road I want to take, and kind of in the planning to get a meetup spot for Luke, I happened across it, and it was pretty funny because Luke sent me a text right after I had happened across it and said, "So you thinking Round Barn at X time?"
Well,
and I said, "Yeah, that's what I was thinking at."
It was exactly as we logged off from the last podcast. I texted you and said, "Pete French Round Barn at 2:30," and you said, "Yeah, that works." Or that's exactly what I was thinking. Because 2 months ago, you were like, "Oh, well, I have a new route I'm trying to plan, but it's from like the north." And so I've spent like the last 2 months on like all three of the different apps I use for like off-road mapping, looking at like different areas and stuff. And I was like, I'll bet this is kind of where he's coming. And I had drawn out the map I thought we were going to take, and we were like one route north of the one I thought we were going to take, and the one I thought we were going to take would have taken us to probably 7,500 feet, so it's good we didn't take that one. It's probably a lot worse conditions. But yeah, I came to a very similar conclusion, and then once we got off the last podcast, I was like, I know exactly where you're going. Pretty funny.
Yeah. I spent a little bit of time after the podcast too, looking at like the Onyx map and trying to figure out how we could get through the way that Colin mentioned we were going to get through. And I had a couple. I actually had the spot up to the observatory or the fire station, whatever you want to call it, fire observatory. That I had looked at a couple times, and I was like, "Can you get on the other side of this at all?" And then I saw a road there, and anyways, that's where we went. But I didn't put it all together.
That was a pretty, very pretty canyon dropping in out of that, down into that lake. Was that Lake Man?
Man Lake.
Man Lake.
Man Lake.
That was a different lake. That is, it's like
Yeah, Man was later down the gravel road.
What was the one?
I thought it was Man Lake, but it's. Luke's looking it up. Hey, Luke, why don't you look that up for us?
It's the
looking
lake
at
that
it.
needs no instructions.
Man Lake is further south. That
was 10 Cent
like
Lake.
fif-
Was on
10
the
cent.
north
10
side of
cent.
it. And then
Yeah.
and then Juniper Lake.
Yeah. Where we came through was between the two, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The one that you decided to not drive across.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
was
man.
10.
Yes,
Yeah. It was 10
was
Cent
so-
Lake. Where we could have gone left would have been the north
Yeah.
side of 10
I
Cent.
would have liked to have seen
Yeah.
one
Yeah,
of
I
them
was-
try that road, though, to be honest.
no.
I wanted to. I was so far behind you guys that I heard it. I listened to what was going on, but we were in the back, and I got to the spot where there was like a T in the road, and I thought, I know they said not to go left, but I can see the gravel road. And they're screwing around with this pit over here on the right. Maybe I just drive through the lake. It doesn't look that bad. But then I thought, Robert's behind me. That's probably not a good
Sean.
idea.
Well,
Because I know
Robert
he's
would
going
have
to
been
me.
fine.
hard to
Yeah.
actually make it everything.
Yeah, Robert would have been fine.
Yeah, actually,
with that.
the Jeep can ford up to 42 inches of water.
With 31-inch tires, 42 inches of water.
That is our rookie driver of the... I mean, I'm going to call it of the year.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know if anybody can top that. Can come in that
100%.
blind and do that well.
Blind
For
31.
background,
Stock
he's
JKU,
a
everybody.
pilot. He's a pilot, and he did that well.
No.
He's also, sorry, Robert, a terrible
Yes,
driver.
thank you.
Which is hilarious.
Fuck, he is the worst. You put him on a freeway, he is horrible.
First for a mile and a half.
There's no lines in the sky, Colin.
Guys, give him a break. If he's on the ground, generally things are either really bad or just getting started.
You know, I'm learning how to fly, and if you've ever driven an airplane, I can understand why he's so bad at driving a car.
You just pray he's
Because
good
driving
at
an
driving
airplane on the ground is really sketchy.
Seems like it.
I
That's.
reversed
I wonder.
for about a mile and a half, and Robert's behind me driving. I watched him turn around as I'm in reverse, and just watching him laugh at me for the entire time as I'm in reverse for what seemed like, let's just say 2 miles. Okay, let's just say 2 miles. Driving in reverse past the tree that we cut down and moved out of the way. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
That was something else. I wonder. So I was going to get into. We talked about all the mud and the cleaning, and I was going to talk about like rigs next and how they did and how they're like what's broken and what's not. But all I can think about now is how's Robert? Did he just like wash off some mud and go to work the
Yeah.
next day? Like
Fuck that guy.
I don't
Seriously,
understand
fuck
how a
that
stock
guy.
JK can just be like
Stock JK, I mean, well, yeah, for the most part, stock JK with some Bilstein 5100s and tires inside his wheel wells. Just goes through a car wash, goes to work the next day, doesn't fucking
Yeah.
care. I hate it. It's so irritating.
That's the other thing. He can just take his roof boxes off and go into a
Yeah.
car wash.
He
Like,
grounds-
through a car wash, an automated one.
Yeah.
While the rest of us idiots are pressure washing all this shit off, he's just going through the car
Yeah.
wash.
Some of us have to make a 1 minute and 15-second Instagram reel on how to wash off your goddamn car.
You don't have to.
Well, you
do
don't have to do that,
No.
but hey, I mean, somebody asked.
It worked out. I was really hoping you might go like semi-viral for that. Like, I was really hoping that was going to be the next TikTok sensation really quick.
I've gotten more views
Not so
on
much.
that video than I ever have on the collective sum of every video.
It needs to be reshared on the page.
Yeah, no kidding. Colin, do you have a Campfire Passport TikTok? Because I think that's where it should go.
I do, but I have not used it at all.
You do.
I secured the name, I secured
Yeah.
the bag, as they say, but I have not. I have not made any posts on there or anything.
I just like the apprehension that is like, yeah, I know what TikTok is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Uh,
We got the URL.
so, there you go. That's good. So Colin has collapsed leaf springs, right? That's your rig thing. Any progress there?
My
Oh wait, you took the
New
stuff out,
springs.
and now they're not collapsed anymore.
yeah, well, yeah, they're just very soft, like very soft. So because they were so soft, and I was riding on the bump stop on the passenger side rear for most of the trip, if not all of it, it actually bent the extended mount out and away from where it's supposed to be, almost touched the tire, so that's cool that it didn't end up running into the tire for the whole drive home or anything. But I have Devers on the way. They were supposed to be here today, and they shipped them in 5 boxes, I think. And for some reason, I was supposed to get them today, and then I got a bunch of updates saying that they were delayed. And then I came home to a box on the doorstep that was my U-bolts. Just those. but the springs are, I don't know, they're somewhere still.
I was
I was
very
really
confused when you said
confused for a
5
moment.
box.
Yeah. Is it
There's
2
4
springs
leaf
and 5
springs.
boxes? Oh, okay.
I feel like Deaver maybe has a warehousing issue, possibly, or can consolidate.
Hey, man, no one wants to work anymore. You know how it goes.
Oh god, here we go.
This is a camping podcast, not political. Stop.
No, it's not political. I'm just saying, I don't fucking want to work.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I think we could collectively agree none of us want to work anymore.
No, buy our podcast.
We're doing this shit for free. Come on,
Please.
people, donate.
We have to pay. We're going to pay Colin for this.
That's right.
Oh,
We
man.
gotta pay.
Yeah.
Subscribe to our
Yeah,
Patreon.
So
everything comes
follow
out of
the
my
link
pocket.
to our GoFundMe.
Yeah.
About that Patreon
Remember to
page
like,
as well, Colin.
like, subscribe, and
Yeah, smash that like button.
yeah. Jesse, was there any sustaining damage from your getting stuck in the mud, or is everything fine? I don't think. I mean, there was no other Colin's springs collapsed, but I don't think any other things happened really.
My
Tyson's
fog
back.
light
Colin ran out of
wait,
time.
my fog light's out.
Oh,
Oh yeah, fog light's
Yeah,
still out.
yeah.
Yeah, Jesse has a fog light
Oh,
out.
I
That's
do
true.
have an update on that. So laser gun 400. Remember in the last podcast we had talked about how I had fucked up and realized I wired everything wrong and I just haven't fixed it yet. And so I had bought the other ones in return, and I was going to return the others because whatever, Amazon. I didn't return them on time. So I have an extra set of laser gun 400s if anybody would like.
Dibs.
I'll actually probably take it. I need some reverse or rear dust wipe.
Lasers don't go in reverse. They only go forward. You're out.
well, they only
You're
have to
out.
anyways.
No, I need some forward blasters. Give me those laser guns.
Tail gunner is a thing.
That's the thing.
Yeah, not on
Tyson, I
an
have a-
attack ship there, Steve.
I've seen some Star Wars, and they put some lasers on the sides and do some aerial spin moves and take out some ties.
All right.
And on the bottom.
Last time I saw an A10, it doesn't have a Vulcan cannon on the rear end.
Well, that seems like it'd be real
It
bad.
seems like a good spot. to
Really bad.
We don't want to go
That's
faster. We
propulsion,
just want to
baby.
shoot and slow down.
No, but an AC 130
You
does.
Yes.
put a can in reverse with the plane not go
So
faster.
does a B-52.
That is a gunship. Not a laser
Okay,
gun.
this isn't the Plane Nerd podcast either. Come on. Let's slow it down for
Doing
a
that would
second,
get Robert
guys.
in here. Come on.
Yeah, wait. Where's Robbie?
Jeez. Okay, well,
So nothing's broken. Sorry.
back to
Other than
vehicles. Nothing's
my
broken.
ego a little bit from getting stuck that first time.
Ooh.
Some pride.
And then my anger got broken a little bit the next day after Mike got stuck in that flat field after everybody blasted through. And I do feel a little bit proud after tugging his 9,000-pound ass. What?
Oh, it's over 10. Don't
Okay.
you worry.
Yeah,
10,000
with
pound
the
ass.
mud, that was 11,000.
Can I just say, we did not blast through that. We, all three of us at the front, or four of us, knew exactly what we were in and knew we could not stop until
Oh,
we
no,
hit
no.
right. There was no
I
stop.
and I don't
Yeah.
blame you at all. I just remember hearing over the radio, "I'm stuck again," and I was straw broken, camel's back chopped in half for the second time.
I don't know.
Did Mike
if
do one
I
of his
could
signature moves
walk.
where he's going and pulls off the throttle exactly at the wrong time?
No,
Oh, no.
I want to default that everyone here absolutely loves Mike unconditionally.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
the second I heard on the radio, I'm stuck again,
Clever.
I looked in my driver's side rear view, and I saw this brown and white blur of Jesse's Tacoma off the road flying. Probably going 50, 60 miles an hour by the time he passed me to go pull Mike out. Just
I would.
not even a full second had gone by.
And that's when I just got out and I put on the dope rope and I tossed the other end of Mike and I said, "All right, put this on. We are not stopping until we hit the next group. We are just gonna go." And he's like, "All right, cool, man."
That was pretty impressive. You guys did a great job.
Yeah,
I feel like
that
Jesse
was
knows
incredible.
his truck good in 4 low at max rev. I feel like he just knows that now.
I mean, that's where the Tacoma
Yeah.
lives
Well,
too.
that's a tried and true recipe.
Yeah. What is your top speed in 4 low, Jess? This is like just the ultimate. At 37s, what is the top speed at 4 low?
Maybe 25 miles an hour. That's just where we were sitting. Because no, because I did
Towing an
I did not move out of
11,000
second
Ford.
gear. I did not pull out of second gear
Okay.
because I wanted those high RPMs.
I mean, the JK with 4 low and 456s in 6th gear was like 28 miles an hour.
Yeah. We don't get above 30 in 4 low, I swear.
But off the line, man, it's so
I
fast.
can definitely go 50 in 4 low.
I do.
Holy
Well,
shit.
what's your low range? Like 321 now?
I do say after all that wheeling, I
I don't
am
know.
looking at doing 35s on my Tacoma, though.
Well, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But without having to
It's-
do Jesse's forward relocate.
No, okay, so you don't need 35s. Because we can just go right back to
False.
frickin' Robert.
Jesse, shut up.
No, well, I mean,
He needs 35.
you need 37.
Yeah.
You don't need 35s.
Why stop
you
there?
need 37.
Okay,
Rookie-
I see what you... Yeah, you don't need 35s. You need 37.
40s, I guess, is really where you're going.
Yeah.
Luke,
but-
Luke needs to get 40s, and then
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm going to LS
time.
flop and then do 40s. That's it.
I finally have a really reliable Jeep, and 40s is just really pushing the envelope.
Well, it hasn't broken
So
yet.
those-
You need to spice it up
I
a
know.
little bit
Yeah.
here.
That's what I mean. It hasn't
That
broken
has a
yet.
44 on the front, right?
And, with 37s at 2,500 miles was tolerable. It wasn't that bad. So,
Yeah.
That has a Dana 44 on the front, right? Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
You could fit 30.
And they're actually, the truck axles, like, if a Dana 49 existed, that's basically...
Oh, so you're only proving
Yeah,
that you can
JL
put
one's
40s
like-
on it.
Yeah, the JL stuff is a little bigger than the JK stuff, and then
got, like,
the
bigger knuckles and
JL
everything,
392 is another step bigger, and then for this year they're doing 5-bolt Dana 60s for the 23 for 24.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, I saw a thing
on
about
the
that. That's pretty cool.
JLs. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
So
I didn't break anything. Everything that I had went really well. So I got home and pulled the engine out because that seemed like the
I hit 300,000 miles. I need a motor.
Yeah, I did.
it is JDM, so it's it feels right.
Yeah, I've had a thing for a while that I was not convinced it would make it past 300,000 miles. So here we are, 300,000 and like 120, and pulled it out because.
And you're still going to sell that thing for what? Probably $2,000.
No,
You don't think-
no. There's
2,500.
there is a market for them. yeah. It's gonna be 5. Let's just call it 5. There is a market for them, but it's really tricky because it doesn't seem like there's really a local market, and it's really, 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 really heavy and really big. So I think that I'm actually working out just a kind of a side deal with Alex at Fit Garage, hopefully to just get some stuff that I need because he has, hey, there we go. There's the shirt. He has a customer base that would use it. So if it goes to him and I get some things out of it, that would be really nice for me. I need it out of my garage because it's gigantic.
That sounds like an opportunity for a certain shop to sponsor the Campfire Passport.
Right. Yeah, I take it back.
That's a good
Please,
idea.
Alex.
Brought to you by the Fit Garage.
Yeah.
Whose customer base
Hopefully we
are
don't have to
very
pay him.
smart.
None of them have relocated from California. And
Cut
have
that.
lots of
Cut
money.
that out.
None of
Cut
them.
that
None
out.
of them.
Cut that out.
And if they have, good for them.
I was about to bag on them all being remote workers, but I can't do that anymore.
Oh, look
That
at
was
you.
bad.
One of us. One of us.
So yeah, that's kind of the main trip stuff that I wanted to go over. That's most of it. I think the next step for the podcast is probably a different group because when we originally thought up this idea, it was rotating people through. So I think most likely Colin and I will stay, and then the rest of you are kicked off the island. Although that might not be completely true. We might actually bring, part of the same people back and then just add people in. Mike is absolutely frothing to become part of this. So, and he is because we talked about him for like half of it.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like at least part of it. So we'll get him in here to defend himself. And then I assume we'll probably have an in-between and then a pre-camping trip podcast because the next camping trip is in June, I think. Colin?
Yeah, I believe next thing is going to be McGrew.
July 13th through 17th.
And I'm
Well, I have some other ideas there, but maybe we can discuss it off after we sign off. But
sweet. Yeah, I think that I'll be ready for McGrew. I think that'll happen. I don't know. We'll see. No
I'm
promises.
bringing Raw Dog.
I'm not going to pull a Jesse and say, I have to bring my truck, otherwise all hell will break loose. But
Yeah.
Well, I'm of that mentality in the share, bringing the XJ on first time on 35s. Just put the Dana 44 in the back. Got to re-gear it. And yeah, I want to take that thing and put some more dents in her.
Raw Dog and Cher. Sounds like a match made in heaven.
Oh,
I'm
man.
gonna have a
I'd watch
Brian
that
Kitchen
movie.
by McGrew as well.
Hell
you're
yeah.
going to do what?
I'm
Steve?
gonna fully primed kitchen setup. What I learned is that I need more kitchen space. I can't just grab 3 people's Colemans and think it's gonna be enough. It's not.
I hope someone got a picture of that pancake scenario because the three grills together was epic.
It was a lot on that
I have a full video of it, Sean.
Oh, good. Well, yeah, I don't know. I should have my rig. If I don't, maybe I'll try to tag along with somebody. It's a long drive to get there. I didn't really think about that originally, but it's like 6.5 hours from here. How long is it from the
4.5?
My dad joined me on the McGrew Trail.
Where does it start?
It's outside of O'Brien, which is the closest place that we all know is Grants Pass. Grants Pass. Sorry.
Well, my mom lives in Brookings, so I've driven through O'Brien probably 30 times.
So yeah, you know where O'Brien's at.
Yeah. I broke a Nissan Titan in Cave Junction once, me and Butters.
I thought Cape Junction was the
pretty
closest
sweet.
place to McGrew.
O'Brien's the closest city.
O'Brien's just south
Okay.
of that.
Okay.
Oh, same highway.
It's just backtracking to places that people might know. Grants Pass is the first, then Cave Junction, then O'Brien.
Named after the
Middle
potato.
of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yes. The potatoes.
Before we fully sign off, I do want to backtrack to one statement that we had made in our previous podcast. It was whose wife was going to get angry the
Is there an
first.
apology?
Jesse wins.
When Anna was listening to the podcast, she first said, "Can it be me? Am I going to get angry?" Like, she got excited about it. I'm going to get angry first.
Yep.
And then she heard me say, "It's going to be my wife." And guess what happened? She got angry first. So,
That's
I
manifest
hope you were
destiny, man.
As you got stuck the first night, I hope you were. That was on the radio as you were going from drive to reverse for about 20 minutes.
no, it was literally after we left our initial meetup spot. I put it on, and she listened, and we were about Milliken when that came on, and it was Anna got angry first. But another point is that maybe we'll let the girls have a podcast one day,
Yes.
and they can have a
Are they gonna talk
post
about
camp
which-
follow up and tell us all how we fucked up.
That wouldn't be a bad idea for
Yeah,
next week
that
or
would
something.
be a long form podcast, I think.
I'm very glad that I don't have to be a part of it and that only Colin does.
On the same note of
Sit in the corner and
wives,
stay quiet.
on the same note of wives, my wife was also not particularly pleased when we hit the various bumps in the road, so to speak, the bumps in the mud. So there's a lot of talking on the radio of kind of clarifying exactly what we're doing, what's the time frame. But I will say, as soon as we got into that kind of valley by the 10-cent lake, she goes, "Okay, yeah, this is worth it." So
Yeah.
just the view alone, I mean, it was gorgeous. The sunlight was perfect. It's just one of those things that just makes you go, "Damn, this is what we do it for."
And Tyson,
Well, and-
your son Seamus is an absolute treat. There was about 4 times during driving where I'm literally thinking like I'm driving like a complete idiot. I'm gonna get stuck, and I look over and Seamus is like, "Hey, I just got the Master Sword in Zelda," and I'm like, "That's awesome." Like, or like I look over and be like, I just about when us took us off the road or slid off the trail, and I'd look over and he's just nose into his Switch, just chilling out. So the chillest
For
vibe
reference,
Seamus, while
my son was riding shotgun with Steve for a good portion of the trip, so he's just a road champion. You give him a screen, and he's just like, "Yeah, no problem. We can hit the most turbulent whatever," and he's just like, "Oh yeah, got the sword, did whatever." True champion.
got stuck. He looks over and he's like, "So we're stuck?" He's like, "Yeah, all right, that's cool."
He was also the
Like, Switch, like, God damn, he's so used to. God damn, Tyson, son of a bitch.
He's so used to being stuck.
He also
But the first one has been stuck.
he also was one of the only 2 people who showed up and had breakfast with me on Friday morning before we left.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, I was laying in bed. I love getting up early, and I was up, but
Oh yeah, shout out.
I loved Morgan.
Shout out to
Y'all still
Morgan.
at breakfast at like
Well,
10:30.
congratulations, we made it to the Olive Garden.
Incredible.
all right, well, that's all I got.
All right.
I'm going to end on just literally, women. The spouses of the group are the champions.
Women. It's gonna end on
Women. Spouses,
Women. Am I right, boys?
spouses of the group. Well, I was about to say the women of the group. You know, not all spouses are women, and that's okay. I'm
You're tripping,
saying
Jesse. You're
that
tripping over things.
Just keep
literally
thinking about it.
the spouses of the group are the champions. Thank you for putting up with it. That was a lot of fun. I had fun, and it was kind of a pain in the ass, but we made it. We made it to the outboard. It was a great time.
Yeah, I had fun too, and I, as always, appreciate everybody pretending that my birthday is a great excuse to go out and camp the first time in a terrible time of the year.
It's a better time to
So I appreciate
It's always a
it.
good
give
time,
your
man.
early April birthday later to possibly get some better weather at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Well, you got to give us our sign out, Sean.
Oh, do I? Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time in an undetermined amount of time here on
On the Campfire Passport podcast.
Thanks for